Hey everyone, Charlie Morgan here and welcome to Business Setup. So in this video, I will be walking you through 11 very simple and straightforward steps to setting up your business in terms of legality, financially, and basically getting you set up so that you actually have something tangible and real to sort of trade out of. Now, be under no illusion, we've been setting up your business the whole time, and the niche selection, the offer creation, the problem selection, the solution validation, all of those things are the core foundations. This is kind of just the dressing that we have to do to seem legitimate and actually have a entity and bank account and payment processor and all those things to make us look legitimate, transparent and tangible. So we're going to be naming your business, registering your domain, setting up your business email, legal documents, templates, company logo, website setup, professional LinkedIn setup, registering your company, banking setup, payment processing setup, and software stack setup. So we're really going to get into some practical action items here. And without further ado, let's have a look. So welcome to Business Setup. This resource will cover the fundamentals of making your business look and feel tangible so that clients actually trust you. This is nowhere near as complicated or time consuming as you may think. So let's get into it and set up our business from a legal and financial standpoint so you can move on to start trading and making some money. So again, we're not really going to be trying to get clients until week 5 here because we've got a lot of work to do, but it's very important that your business is set up properly before clients start rolling in and you start making money. Okay. So there's 11 steps before you can move on to the mindset training in week 2. So first of all, we've got to name the company. Very simple. Register the domain, and let's get into these things. So first of all, naming your business. So a lot of people spend way too much time on the name. So what I want you to do is set a timer on your phone or on your computer for 20 minutes, sorry, not 20, 10 minutes. And I want you to come up with a name for your company. And basically what you want to do is come up with a name, and you want to go here to namecheap.com to see if that company can be named accordingly, okay? So for example, if I wanted to call my company Imperium and just Imperium, then I could go imperium.com and search. And if the domain is not available, which it's not, it's taken, then I'm not going to choose that name because we kind of just want to have a .com domain. But if I wanted to go with, like, let's say I wanted to call my company blah blah consulting.com, then that's probably going to be available, okay? And so that would be a name that you could use. Now, I'm not actually going to say that you use blah blah consulting.com, but you got my point. So basically, it's really this simple. The biggest companies in the world didn't care about the name. So Apple is named after a fruit, Amazon is named after a rainforest, and Google is named after something that a literal baby would say. Like Google is like goo goo gaga shit, right? So our company name Imperium was a random idea my business partner's mother had when we were trying to think of a name. I remember at the time I was playing like Call of Duty Zombies or something. And we were like, oh yeah, Imperium sounds good. And then we were like, yeah, let's roll with it. Thought, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And it doesn't matter. You can use ChatGPT to your heart's content here. Truly, the name doesn't matter. Okay, it does not matter. As long as you don't call it like don'tbuyfromme.com, it doesn't matter. So set a timer, 10 minutes, no more. Do it now. Maybe you've got a name in mind already. It should be that simple. You can go to some Latin words. Just make sure that it's easy to spell and the domain is available. Okay, simple, done, dusted. Second thing is domain and email setup. So what you want to do is you want to head over to Google Workspace, and you can do that here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to use Google Workspace to register your domain, and we're also going to use it to set up your company email, okay? So I'm not going to give you step-by-step instructions on the screen because this is Google, and it is incredibly simple to do this. And I'm just going to remove these capital letters before they annoy me. But the point I'm making is like you don't need step-by-step instructions to set up a bloody Workspace account because it's so simple. So I'll just run you through it real quick. So head over to Workspace, you can find that here. Put in your name and current email to create a Workspace account. Click Get a Custom Domain and search for your domain. So it should just be your company name with .com on the end. Shouldn't be any more than $10, $20 a year. Add a username. So this is basically just your first name, okay, next to your email. Create a secure password and obviously don't forget it. Now for this, what you want is the Business Plus plan, should be $20 a month or so. The reason that you want to do this is because you're going to be using Google Drive, you're going to be using Google Workspace email, you're going to be using the calendar, you're going to be using Docs, you're going to be using all these things. And you need the domain registered, and you also need all the Google Drive storage because when we come to do our operations and our sales calls, we're going to store the sales calls here. Everything's going to be run out of your Google Drive, okay? It's so important. Set it up. It's worth $20 a month, okay? Enter your payment details, get your payment address done. When you register, make sure your domain information is private so that the box should already be ticked so people can't find your address. And after payment, you do not need to add any other users, just yourself. Okay, simple. Now that you've done that, what you want to do is set up your business email. So you can go to Gmail or accounts.google.com, and then you can basically set up Gmail using your new Workspace user account. So go to gmail.com, turn all the smart features on, go to settings and set a signature and use the following signature here. It's really simple to set up a signature in Gmail. This is an example signature. You want to include a phone number in the bottom and an address of an expensive location in a major capital city in a major country. Now, I'm not going to encourage you to lie about where you live or lie to clients about having offices when you don't. Obviously, I live in London, so you can decide to do this or not. The phone number doesn't have to be real. No one's going to call it. It just makes you look more professional and it makes you look like you're actually a real person. And also, the address doesn't have to be accurate. But again, I'm not encouraging you to lie. However, if you put a expensive location of a major capital city in a major country, then you do seem more trustworthy. But that's not me telling you to lie. That's just me telling you that it's an option. Okay. This is about looking and appearing professional in your email exchanges. So, for example, when I had my first business, technically, my business partner was in Amsterdam and I was on the outskirts of London. So we just said we have offices in Amsterdam and London. Clients don't need to know that our offices were our bedrooms, but you get my point, right? You can pick and choose to do this if you want. So then you add a profile picture to your Google Workspace account. It should be semi-simple, semi-professional headshot or selfie will do. Nothing edgy, nothing Instagrammable. I don't want to see anyone mogging their clients. Just your face in good lighting, okay? Simple, done. And that's all that. So next up is the legal document templates. So you're going to need a privacy policy and some T&Cs for your website and if clients ever ask for them. So you can use this template to create your privacy policy. And here's a template that you can copy and paste into a document for the terms and conditions over on our website for Imperium Acquisition. So you can see this thing here, pretty long, pretty extensive. You should probably read through it and check it all out, to be honest. Same thing with the T's and C's as well. You can read them and check them out. Go to File, make a copy for the privacy policy, and you can add this to a doc. Quick disclaimer, these are our privacy policy and terms and conditions documents. This is not legal advice. I'm not advising you to blindly copy and paste. They may not legally be applicable to your company, jurisdiction, or country, so please consult a proper lawyer before blindly copying my templates. These are templates for inspiration purposes, and I'm not advising you to directly copy them. You'll need funnels. You'll need for funnels and pages down the line. Okay, so you can just check them out now, make a copy, edit them in any way that you see fit, and consult a lawyer if you feel that is necessary and or appropriate. There is my legal disclaimer out of the way. So company logo, we're blasting through these, but it is simple. Make an account for canva.com, head over to Canva templates, like so, set a 5-minute timer, pick your favorite template in these 5 minutes. Set another 5-minute timer, edit your logo in these 5 minutes, and then save the file in your Google Drive. Do not spend too long on this. I do not want to see anyone spending more than 10 minutes on a bloody logo. So you come to templates, you go to logo, and then you give yourself 5 minutes to scroll down and find the one that you like the most. So let's have a little scroll here, and you're like, oh, and you'll see some of them are premium. You don't need to do that. You don't need the premium ones. You can just use the free one. So let's have a little scroll here, and you're like, oh, I don't know which one I like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that'll do. Okay, customize a template. And then literally all you're going to do is, let's say my company is called Imperium Acquisition. Let's say that my company is called, I don't know, X marks the spot consulting, right? And I'm going to come here, marks the spot. Let's just call it X marks. Let's say that's our, there you go, done. Now it might look kind of shit, but honestly, that's fine. You do not that's just an example, right? I literally did that in all of 20 seconds. But the point I'm making here is all you then do is you go to share, download, and then you download it, and then you've got your file, and that's your logo done. It does not, literally my logo, I mean, you guys have seen my logo. It's literally, it's everywhere, right? It's literally just an I and an A in a box. It took me, and I'm not even joking, I pride myself in this, it took me 3 minutes to make that thing. And that was 3 minutes too long. So do not spend long on this. I don't care about your creative proclivities. If you want to spend 3 hours on making it all pretty with the perfect pastel pink, do not do that. Simple, black and white, get it done, okay? Next is website setup. So what I've actually done is I've recorded a, this resource isn't completed yet, which is why it's going to be separate. But what I wanted to do was walk you through a full sort of step-by-step instruction template on how to actually build a website. And I'm going to give you a very specific template that we would recommend that you use in a very specific software that you can later use for other funnels and other softwares and other connections. So instead of rushing through it in this sort of quick, snappy thing, what I want you to do now is click this document here. And it doesn't look completed yet, but it hasn't updated. Head over to this document for specific video instructions on how to set your website up with our recommended website template. So I'm going to give you a cut and dry template. You can install it. We're going to show you how to connect your domain, get everything set up, get it all linked. It's going to be real simple, real straightforward. But for the sake of keeping this simple, we're going to keep moving. But you want to pause the video right now and go and set that template up right now. Okay, do it now. Don't put it off. It's going to take a little bit of time and energy, but do it now. Next is professional LinkedIn setup. So this is my LinkedIn here. Just takes you through to this. You kind of want to you can just copy my LinkedIn pretty much. It's pretty straightforward. So spend 30 to 45 minutes setting up your profile. Honestly, even this is like way too long, to be honest, like 30 minutes max. What you want to do is, the reason you want a LinkedIn profile is because you're going to be in a professional field, right? And you might not necessarily be working with businesses, but people are still going to Google you and they're going to look for your name. And you know, the only real platform that you want people to be finding on, at least in the beginning, is LinkedIn, because it shows that this is like a website for a human, right? And it's pretty important. So what you want to do is just make it look professional and edit it to look good. Add a picture and as much information as you can. Don't be afraid to use ChatGPT to write certain things. Again, this does not need to be anything crazy. I think I've spent probably 20 minutes on my LinkedIn profile, honestly. Just a basic professional profile so that when someone Googles your name, you come up looking decent and legitimate, okay? That's it. Just literally simple, basic stuff. Like, you can put your company in here. You can always say your company started a while ago. Again, like, I'm not going to encourage you to lie to clients, but you can do whatever the hell you want with your LinkedIn profile, okay? And you can set it all up. So literally 30-minute timer. Any longer than that is too long. Step 8 is registering your company. So you're going to need to register your company to be a legal entity. This is to prevent you from getting sued and making you seem more legitimate. So the reason that we have a limited company here in the UK, or an LLC in America, or wherever other countries have different jurisdictions, is to prevent us from being sued by clients. Because if someone wants to sue you, then they sue your company, not you, and it protects you and your personal assets from legal action. Very unlikely you get sued at this level of business with the pricing plans you're going to be using. However, it's just good to have a legal entity in mind. Now, I cannot give you step-by-step instructions here, as all countries have very different ways to get set up. But what I would do is just Google or ChatGPT instructions on how to set up a company in your country. Any questions on how to do this? Don't know why that's Revolut Business. We can delete that. Any questions you've got on how to do this, you can just go ahead and Google it, okay? I'd recommend you get this done by a professional lawyer or accountant. It is worth paying a few $100s or $1,000 to someone to sort this, okay? Pretty simple. Like, you can Google this. It's not like, again, I'd love to give you step-by-step instructions, but it's kind of like, oh, it just doesn't make sense. You can just Google it and all of the countries will be able to provide you with step-by-step instructions. So I would try and set up a UK LTD or a USA LLC if you're outside of the US or the UK. See if you can set those up anyway, because like if you're in like, I don't know, let's say you're in like a third world country, like you're probably going to want to try and set up a UK company or a USA company, but sometimes you won't be able to because for whatever reason. So if you're like in Germany or Denmark or Netherlands, you can still set up companies there. That's fine. Okay, same with Canada, etc., etc. So once you've registered your company, you want to set up banking. Okay, so you can head over to this link here and set up an account with Revolut Business. This is by far the best banking for business that I have found. We use this for all of our finances, specifically for one of our company structures. Bear in mind that my company structures are horrifically complicated now because we have to have lots of layers because of the money we're making and tax reasons. But you want to set up a Revolut account. You want to set up multiple currency accounts so you can trade overseas. Now, this is really simple. Again, like all of these setup things, I'm just going to give you like broad strokes on what to do. And then you can go and like fill in the blanks, because I don't know why this says 7.1. These instructions are, I need to correct these. But basically the reason that I'm not giving you step-by-step instructions on these things is kind of because I can't. Like setting up a bank account, And like it requires me to go into all of my sensitive information, like my addresses, and basically there's no way I can get through the setup without giving my passport, my address, like my company information, all this stuff. And obviously that's not information I'm going to share openly with all you guys. So you can figure this one out again. So and by the way, whenever I give future step-by-step instructions, it's incredibly rare that I'm just going to say figure it out, but truly I cannot get into this because it's sensitive. Setup's very simple. You'll need to identify yourself with legal documentation, proof of address, etc. Now, if Revolut doesn't work for you, I would try and set Revolut up first. But if for whatever reason you can't because your country or whatever, then you can just use Wise. But try Revolut first. It's going to serve you better. It's less likely to get shut down. It's more trustworthy. Your money is going to be safe with Revolut, in my opinion. I do use Wise as well for a separate thing. But I would start with Revolut, okay? This is an affiliate link, by the way, so you register, I'll get some benefits from that. But again, like I've used probably 10 different banks over the last like 5-10 years in business, and Revolut has been by far the best for us, so you can use it. If you need any like help with setup, then you can just literally Google it, or there's tons of YouTube tutorials on how to do this as well. So you can figure that one out. It's very simple. Like if you can't set up a bank by yourself, like I'm sorry, but I got some news for you. You're in trouble. Right, I'm just joking, of course. So step 10 is payment processing setup. So you actually need to be able to take credit cards. And you're going to need to be able to, process payments. Like how the hell do we get this done? First of all, you can process payments by using Revolut and sending over your banking details, but we don't really want to rely on clients sending wire transfers to us because they're hard to track. They're a nightmare. Like clients are going to like have to redo that every month if you're selling monthly. So you want to connect your payment processor. Now I would set up Stripe. You can do that by clicking here. Stripe is by far and large the best payment processor on the planet. And then what you want to do is connect Stripe to your Revolut bank accounts, okay? So you can get paid. Now, again, due to the sensitive nature of payment processor setup and compliance, I cannot exactly give you step-by-step instructions myself. I can't walk you through a Stripe setup because it's going to require, again, for me to give my address. And it's like I have to give legitimate information to set it up, so I can't go through the instructions without that. Any questions you have on how to set Stripe up can be answered and will be answered in the Stripe support forum specifically here, okay? Now, if Stripe doesn't work for you, there are other payment processor options available that you can search for. However, I'm not going to endorse or recommend any other payment processors purely because a lot of them I don't want to be associated with because of their reputation or the kind of people they work with, right? Stripe's clean. And if you use Stripe, it's the best option, but not everyone will be able to use it. But there are other options that you will be able to find if you search that will probably accept you. But Stripe, it doesn't take any bullshit. Like if you're like a certain business model, it won't take you. If you're in a certain country, it won't take you. If you're related to certain things, it won't take you. So I like it because it's clean, and you can tell someone's earned their stripes when they use Stripe. That makes sense. But you might not be able to. But again, you can find another payment processor, right? This is kind of the only area, like this business setup stuff, the financial setup, the only area that I can't give you very detailed instructions on. So then what you want to do is set this software up. So this is called PayFunnels. You want to go here and set this up on the $29 a month plan. You want to connect PayFunnels to your Stripe and then set up a custom payment link for your product. This is all, again, incredibly intuitive to do, specifically in PayFunnels. So you can just click here, set up an account. And again, I can't log in because it contains sensitive information about my financial situations. And we've got payment links in here. We've got bank account information here. So I'm not going to click around in softwares where all that stuff's available because it's like we've got client information and stuff, right? So anyway, set this up here, connect to your Stripe, and then you can set up a custom payment link. And basically this is kind of like where you'll then basically what it will do. In fact, let me show you, hang on. Okay, so we're just here inside my PayFunnels. I've navigated away from the dashboard, customers, etc. But basically what you want to do is come into PayFunnels here on the $29 a month plan. And I know it seems like a bit of money to spend, but trust me, like this is the payment link software. Sadly, you can't avoid this. So set that up. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and create a new payment link. And then what you do is you type the name of your product or service in here, which can just literally be services from company. Description, you can just pop in here as like just a line or whatever, it doesn't have to be anything, like just services. And then this is where you select your payment. So if you're doing like a monthly retainer, you put it in here. If you're doing like a payment plan, like a 3-time payment, you do it here. And 1 time, you do it here. And then basically what you do is you go ahead, you can select the currency here. So if you're charging in, like if you're working with US dollar clients, then obviously you want to charge in USD. And you can decide whether or not you're putting tax in. Now you won't have VAT, like UK VAT, or again, like your tax situation, you need an accountant. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to managing tax and stuff, like I can't tell you what to do there because every company and every country is different, but you'll figure that one out. You can ask the billing address, etc., etc. And then basically this is really helpful because, like, let's say that we're charging like $5,000 and I want to charge a client $5,000 and I'm on the sales call with them and they're like, hey, can I pay? And you're like, yeah, sure. What you don't want to be doing is going around into Stripe, digging that out. Like, Stripe's a nightmare, and trust me, payments are like clients, if they just, PayFunnels makes the whole payment processing thing so simple and it makes it so intuitive. I've processed 4,000 to nearly probably at this point 4,500 clients through PayFunnels specifically. So this is what the PayFunnels link will look like specifically. So obviously, like, again, you could set up a recurring payment plan for like 3 payments, etc., one-time charge, and people, like clients, will filling this out seems intuitive, it seems professional, and what the other thing that's really cool is it automatically sends the invoice. It's way easier to manage subscription payments, payment plan payments, keeping track of everything. You can have all your invoices in one place. It's just way easier than managing it in Stripe. Trust me, like, it's brilliant. So I'd recommend you set this up. And then basically your clients can just pay the link like this. So they put in their billing and shipping details and payment details, and then basically they just set it up, okay? And what you can do is you can connect that to Stripe so that when the payment comes through, it gets to Stripe, and then there's no processing fees specifically for PayFunnels. Does that make sense? Stripe will charge you 2.9% to process payments, but any payment processor will do that. It's an unavoidable, basically like a tax, right? So that's just unfortunate, but it is just the case. So connect to your Stripe and set up a custom payment link for your product. This is essential because obviously you're going to be using custom payment links to pay directly from the software. So yeah, you can just set this up. It's honestly for the price, it's insanely valuable and you need it. So go ahead and set that up. So the next thing is a quick software stack setup. So what I wanted to do was just basically give you like all of the softwares that I would recommend that you use or will need for your company. So if you come here, you'll be able to see them. So there's more than this in terms of what I use, but these are the kind of essential ones that you're going to need. Okay, so all of these, by the way, are affiliate links for full transparency. I'm not going to pretend that they're not. But here's a list of all the softwares I recommend that you set up and use for your company. I've personally used all this software, and this is an extensive list of everyone that we use to make more than 10 million a year. I've purposely missed a few very advanced ones that you won't need. So you can see them all here: Rebump, Wistia, Make, Go High Level, Slack, School, Cal.com, Typeform, Loom, ClickFunnels, Alloy, Instantly, Webflow, ChatGPT. You can read, right? I'm not gonna go through this over and over again, but you can kind of get the point here. These are all the softwares that we use, and like, this is what we use for Gmail follow-up. For video hosting, we use Wistia. Automation, I'd use Make. CRMs, websites, funnels, and more, Go High Level. Slack communication. If you want to host communities, use School. Scheduling software, Cal.com. We'll show you how to set this up in week 5. Typeform, if you want to use any sort of form-related software where you want to get information from clients. Any video recording, I'd use Loom. ClickFunnels, marketing, funnels. Cold calling, use Alloy. Cold email, use Instantly. Website creation, use Webflow. ChatGPT, use AI for AI chat, obviously. Manus, AI agent. For CRM management and sales management, Close.com. Video editing, you can use these. Photoshopping and media encoding, these ones. Canva, obviously, for designing stuff. Midjourney for image creation. Frame.io for video editing. Google Workspace, we've already set that up. Revolut for banking. Amex for credit card. QuickBooks for accounting. Whisper for voice to AI text, pretty cool software. Hyros for ads tracking. Bitly for link compression. Linktree for social CTAs and link compression. ActiveCampaign for sending emails to an email list. ScreenFlow for program recordings, what I'm using right now. Help Scout for client support. Miro for strategic planning. Zoom for meetings. Fallon for meetings. Asana for project management. Hyros for ads tracking. And Zapier for automation. Okay. All of these like anything related to client acquisition, by the way, like lead sourcing softwares, like cold email softwares, cold calling softwares, all of that will be covered in week 5 when we talk about client acquisition. So don't worry too much about those for now. But these are the ones that you're going to want to use if you want to set them up. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you which ones to set up because you won't need all of them right now. But as and when you do, you can come back to this list and visit back and use these links. Okay. Just for the ease of use, so the things are a little bit easier for you. So that's a business setup video. Make sure that you've gone ahead and done your website. It's really important because we're going to be sending this to people, and if you don't have a website, then people are going to be like, you're a scammer, right? So you can use that template, and we'll now move on to the next videos, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. We're getting so close to week 2 now, so I'll see you there, and have a good day. Any questions on this, you can obviously use the community, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.